Oh, everybody was like waiting. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Everybody was waiting. I'm so sorry. That's so bad. This took forever. Oh, it was a crazy day. I don't even think it's on yet. Let me see. Oh, there's 4 people. Okay, there we go. Oh, crowd goes wild. Oh my god. Such a disaster. I'm so sorry. Oh, you guys are amazing people. Okay. So let's see. Let's get into it. Okay. So oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, so luckily this is not going to be too stressful for me cuz it was a stressful day at work today. Luckily this is just going to be fun where we can just like watch clips and be silly. Because social media needs that. The world needs that. The world definitely needs that. Okay. So, all right. So let me get up the first clip because we have a little bit to talk about. This week was pretty funny. And I just want to share with you guys all of the most hilarious stuff that I saw. I need to get my computer, like my screen, so it's like eye level because it's like so annoying. I have to like look down every time at the monitor to like bring stuff up. So I'm sorry about that. But I'm gonna get like one of those floating things. Okay. So shout out to everybody. Okay. Here we go. So nice. Okay, Maria's gonna be joining us. Add to oh, there we go. There we go. Hey. There we go.
I'm glad that we got to have those conversations in chat while you were gone.
I know you guys were like, I was like looking and there's like a whole conversation. You guys, if you're not following Maria already, like I don't know what you're doing. Like you need to be on her Instagram and on her YouTube and everything. And her Discord too. We need to get that link up there too.
It's
I
posted in my
think
bio on most of my socials.
yeah. I
Yeah, so if you
know.
can find me one place, you can find me everywhere.
And I'll put it in the description so everybody can have it. But yeah, so this week was funny. I think a weekly show for like what's happening in propaganda is just fitting, I think. So we could just like chat about it. I mean, obviously, we have the very special like documentary investigative journalist Maria style hosted lives where it's like literally like I'm like in like after doing it with you, I'm like, okay, let me get in Canva and let me just put together a dissertation. Like you guys, you don't understand. Like she literally comes with dissertations. I'm like, oh shit, let me put an icon. So yeah.
Yeah,
And you're working on what is it you're working on? I saw you did a poll on IG. You're working on a new video as well, like
yeah,
a new project.
yeah. I have like 20 videos written and like I collect a bunch of memes for them and do a lot
I
of
feel
research
you.
for them. I just have to film them and edit them. Every time I edit them, I'm just under the conclusion that it's not entertaining enough. It's too intense. It's literally like a dissertation, and I don't want that to be the
But that's
vibe.
okay.
Although
That's
I
okay.
do
There's
want
so many
people to
channels.
know that I research.
Yeah. No, but there's so
Yeah,
many
for
channels
sure,
like
for
that.
sure.
Yeah. I watched
Yeah, I just
shockingly.
don't think I think it's too heavy for the average person.
I see what you're saying. But I mean, honestly, your viewers would flock to it because like I watched a 24-minute video on Ariel's color theory, like the Little Mermaid color theory. I was like, what did I just watch? Like she was just like
Yeah.
breaking down everything, talking about color. I was like, wait a second. So I feel like, because I've read, honestly, like one of your scripts, like you shared it with me, and it was really interesting. Like it was never like a, oh my God, let me just skip to the end. Like each paragraph was, beat, 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 beat. So I don't know. I think you should try
Well,
putting
thank
it out
you.
there and seeing, you can always change it. Like you can always switch it up. So
Yeah. Yeah, I really just want to focus on producing the content that I want to see on the internet, and the
yeah.
first few videos have kind of been flops for me. So I'm just
Mm,
working through it, and I've got a lot of other stuff going on. I'm trying to get a video out by the end of the month though.
nice,
So,
nice. Yeah. That's where lives come in at least. So
yeah.
they get the traction going. So we have a couple
Yeah.
clips that we wanted to go over, and I think that they're pretty entertaining. I mean, which one do you want to
Yeah, they're
start
pretty
with?
funny.
Do you want to start with the
I mean,
liberal chick, or do you want to start with pollution? Like I don't know.
yeah,
We could start.
we can start with the liberal chick because it's so popular and I've seen so many people
Yeah.
comment about it. So,
Okay, let's get into that one. So let me put that up. Choose. Okay, let's get into that. Miss Liberal
yeah.
Chick.
I don't know, one of the saddest realizations I recently had was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Okay, we're gonna have to play that again, but there's so much to break down here. Like, so much in terms of like why. Like, number one, why? Like, okay,
So,
I'm
like,
gonna.
why is she looking for that when she's not giving that? Or
No,
why
why?
is she surprised?
Why? Okay, yes, that's the first thing. Why is she surprised that conservative men actively uphold traditional values and liberal guys do not? They follow her in terms of they're following her feminism, her liberalism, but she doesn't want that. It's like,
So, it seems like she's kind of looking for somebody to compliment her and her opinions, and she's not really giving that compromise in return. So, yeah, she asked the question at the end, is she asking to have her cake and eat it too? Yeah, that is kind of what she's asking. There is some compromise on both sides. And I actually, in the female privilege video, there is a section that I wanted to talk about how men are looking for women who have the same politics as them, and women
mm-hmm.
are looking for somebody who has different politics but accepts them, which usually
Mm.
doesn't go together if you're voting for policies that directly oppose men and men's interests.
Exactly, because that's the number one thing. And Counselor Guy says she's a traditional conservative feminist. um, it's like the same people who like move to a Republican state, for example. They flee a liberal state or a Democratic state to go to a Republican state and then try to vote the same policies that they just fled. Like, why
Yeah.
can't you just put two and two together? That maybe it's not going to work. It's not going to make you happy.
Yeah.
And then,
I think it's
yeah.
also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think it's also that women are looking for masculine men and they don't realize that masculine men tend to be conservative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow for a lot of women. And I understand not wanting to give up your beliefs just to date someone, but you have to kind of understand the male's perspective in order to enter into a respectful relationship like that.
Exactly.
So, do you
And you
think that's the big
can't,
issue, is just like having that double standard?
yeah, that double standard. And like you said, she wants the guy to follow her, but she's also going to like literally sabotage him by like voting for things
Yeah.
and supporting things that hurt him. Let's watch it one more time for anybody
Yeah.
who
Do you want to
thinks it's
know
odd.
one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role.
Yeah, so it is really about the role, not the actual duty. It's really about the expectations there, from what I can estimate. I can't hear you.
Oh, it just muted. Oh, sorry. No, what I was saying was basically she wants him to give her the traditional thing, but she doesn't want to have the expectation of then fulfilling her end of that traditional role.
Yeah, it's one-sided responsibility.
What's that video that you're working on again?
Female privilege?
Yes. I think
Yeah.
that's like, that sounds so messed up, because if she's with somebody who's conservative, let's say, who's doing all these things, his end goal, let's say, typically would be to have someone who is also going to help him, achieve what he wants, which if he's conservative, he probably wants a family traditionally. Like that's the standard thing. Like he would
Yep.
want a homemaker. He would want someone who makes him healthy foods, who does all of the things that are the benefit. Someone says, Soren says 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah.
And it's like
New discourse.
It's like so ridiculous. And I also think it's like extremely negative that she sees her having to fulfill her end of the bargain, her end of the, relationship, as being repressive. That's like screaming feminism.
Yeah.
Like somehow you living in a house being taken care of, that means you lose your independence. Like, I see.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's a feminist ideology. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They're totally against women staying home, and they're all for women's choice until they choose to stay home and serve the patriarchy.
Oh yeah, no, because
And
all
it's funny
marriage
how
is slavery.
patriarchy and family are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
the
marriage
patriarchy and
is
the family
slavery.
become the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's a big yikes.
It is. It's so crazy. I'm sure guys who watch it are just like, what? This is insane.
I think it makes them hate women. It makes them really resentful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's something that all women have to deal with, not just the feminists, because we're all lumped in together.
Exactly.
Men deal with the same thing with feminists. It just sucks for the people that don't subscribe to those mainstream loud ideologies.
Yeah. Totally. That totally
Yeah.
says, and Simple says her desires are one-sided. She only cares about her own values rather than learning from the men's perspective. I don't think she realizes she's being selfish. Well, feminism is pretty selfish. Like, it's rooted
Yeah.
in selfishness. Like the radical feminist, like that type. Soren says, respect men. What sorcery is this? Let's see. Yeah, everybody's like, they're just taking care of and possibly work part-time. Liberal doesn't even mean what it used to mean. I think so. She's just a leftist.
No, it definitely doesn't.
She's just a
Yeah,
leftist.
no, the classical liberalism has died, essentially, and become not even neoconservatism. I don't even know what you'd call it. I think James Lindsay has tried to talk about this before and probably has a better way of articulating it than I do now. But
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think about using the word liberal? Like, should we take that word back or just let the liberals steal it?
I think we should work more to separate and distinguish liberalism versus leftism because
Yeah,
it's totally two different things. Like leftism is authoritarianism. Like that's all it is. Um
it's communism,
yeah,
actually.
that's
Yeah.
what it is. Like all of those little things, all of those civil rights, equality, all of that stuff is literally just communism, but different window dressing. So, yeah, I think that at some point people have to like do a better job of distinguishing because no, liberals like in the 90s, there were tons of liberals in politics. And back then, the conservatives were like the war hawks, the like, they didn't care about anybody. They just wanted to like pollute the lake and the groundwater so that they can make an extra 3% profit so it's just totally been distorted to like these extremes. And it's unfortunate to see.
Yeah, the Democrats used to be all ending the wars, and now
Mm-hmm.
they're pro-war, which is pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
because they're authoritarians.
Yeah. Um, so do you want to go through the next video? We have a
Yeah,
few that are really funny, and I
I
really want to see
know.
the handicapped lady talk about wheelchairs.
Okay, let's do that one then so we can get to like
I thought that one
that's
was priceless.
I know that was funny. Okay, guys, be ready. I'm sorry if I misgendered anyone, but you guys, this is very important. So let's pay attention.
Yes, our
Love is
able
love.
bodies must be ready for inclusive
Be ready to
thinking.
bow down once the video is done in order to
Check your
properly pay.
privilege.
Yeah, in order to check your privilege. Like,
I hate when people say that wheelchairs are only for people who need them. Because when they say that, what they mean is wheelchair users are for people who are paralyzed. But not everyone who is a wheelchair user, who uses a wheelchair, who needs a wheelchair, is paralyzed. Because if you're gonna do away with wheelchairs for anyone who has the physical ability to stand for like a couple seconds, I think we should do away with strollers. Because toddlers can stand. They can walk pretty far actually. If you hold their hand, they can get around fine. You know why we use strollers? Because we do need them. We need them. You cannot tell me that we do not need strollers. And we use strollers for kids who are pretty big, right? 4, 5, 6 years old.
not 6x big, but anyway.
Yeah,
You're using a
not
stroller
400 pounds
because
big.
kids get tired. Their muscles are underdeveloped, just haven't gotten the chance to grow yet. And you know what? Some adults need strollers too. And that stroller is a wheelchair. So get the fuck over it. We're not in a mass wheelchair shortage, okay? What is your commitment to making disabled people and fat people suffer all the time? If an accessibility tool makes your life easier, you should fucking use it. Because life fucking sucks, okay? And if it makes the difference between you going outside and not going outside, use the fucking wheelchair and go outside. Because life is so fucking short. And if you really cared about people's health, you would know that going outside is better for your health and well-being than not going outside. And being able to live independently can mean the world's difference to somebody. Because that independence can mean getting to the doctors regularly, or going to the grocery store, or going to be able to pick up your meds. If you actually cared about people's health, you would stop discrediting that.
She's literally the meme that's like no one, at the top. And then she's like doing this rant. Like,
Yeah.
who took her stroller? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you, but I just picture when she said that, her like dragging this poor toddler by his arms, like ripping it out of the socket. Like, come on, we have to get to the
So
like Taco Bell before it closes or something.
So bad.
So bad.
I thought her mustache was very obvious and concerning in the video. And I think the real issue is that she's unhealthy and that adults that need strollers are unhealthy and that we should not glorify or normalize treating adults like children.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a reason children have strollers. that adults don't have. And I'm not like trying to make fun of anyone in a wheelchair, because there does hit a point where you're so big, your joints just will break, and then it's a problem. But that's all part of the conversation that we need to have, and instead of just saying, like a lot of the Democrat cities, they will just install handicap ramps everywhere, and in every parking lot they will have to have like 10 handicap spots, way
Yeah.
more than there are handicapped people in the town. Like, I grew up in a small town where we had one gas station and like one
Oh,
restaurant,
wow.
and we had to have like, I think like 8 handicap spots in front of every single building. There were like 3 handicapped people in the whole town.
Oh my
So it just,
gosh.
a lot of Democrat cities, they think that these kinds of ideas are harmless, but it's really just going to show that you don't care about the average citizen. It's really about catering to the 1% or the fraction of a percent of people that need those services, and they're willing to do that on the average person's dime.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say
Mm-hmm.
no, you're a bigot. You're ableist. You hate people just because you don't want to be generous. Like,
I know. They do
that's
say that.
bigoted.
They do say
Yeah.
that. And it's weird to me because it's like no one's going. I don't like who was coming for her. Like who was like upset with her for doing it. I guess she felt like some internal, like she felt shamed. So she needed to make that.
I'm sure people make comments to people have little restraint when it comes to sharing their opinion these days, and I think it's just
Yeah,
because we've
that's
just
true.
gotten so used to just the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true too. We're
And you get
like,
dirty looks too. I'm sure that's part of it for her, and she just wanted to vent about it on the internet. We treat social media like it's just us venting to our friends. And I'm guilty of
no.
that, but you know.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, no, I just, she's literally my favorite. She's arguing with a ghost. It's like no one's angry with her.
I
Okay.
know. Is it the able-bodied person in the room with you now?
Oh, yes.
Are they
Are
here?
they here right now?
Mhm.
Oh my God. Okay. So, let's get into, let's do the clip of the new white supremacists. Let's do that one.
Okay.
The new white supremacists, you guys. Because I'm just like, oh, man,
In
white
this week's Hell
supremacy
World.
in this week's whole world. Okay, you guys, this is when propaganda is so like they're so indoctrinated. But you'll notice a lot of the time they'll also be saying things, but as they're saying it, they even realize how weird it is and how ridiculous. And you can see that in this clip. Like,
this issue has unfortunately it does put some, and not all, of course, but some Muslim families on the same side of an issue as white supremacists and outright bigots. And, however, the folks who I've talked to here today, I would not put in the same category as those folks, although, it's, again, complicated because they're falling on the same side of this particular issue.
Hi, my name is Saad Bey.
like
She had to walk that back. She looked into
she's
the
like,
eyes of those children and were like,
she's like,
"Oh,
I'm
I
literally
messed up."
calling an 8-year-old a white supremacist. Like she was
Yep.
like, what am I doing? It's like, that's what it's like. They're so indoctrinated, but there is some gaps where they're just like, oh my God, this literally doesn't make sense. Like they just start swallowing their words.
But like, now that I've heard it out loud, that sounds a bit crazy.
Exactly. That's literally what happened. She was like, but I'm not saying people here, but you clearly are. So it's like, what? Okay. So the rest, should we play the rest of this with the little kid testifying, or do you want to just?
I thought a couple of what the kids said were good.
Okay.
Just because of how genuine they were, but
I
you kind
know,
of get
he's
the point
sweet.
after the first couple.
Okay, I'll just play
Hi,
a little
my name
bit.
is Saad Beg. I'm a middle school student of MCPS. I'm here to talk about the opt-out option for reading material. I'm not here to take away the right of anyone being recognized in the community. I'm here to talk about my rights. My religion teaches to respect all religions and all human beings and their rights. So does my country law. And I want my right back to have an opt-out option. In the last Board of Education meeting, someone said that many people of the LGBTQ community are being bullied. That may have been the case some time ago, but these days it's quite the opposite. There are over 40 kids.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, it's just like,
Yeah.
what? Like this woman's literally telling this little kid he's a white supremacist. Like, what?
Yeah, it
There's
kind of sounded like she was trying to imply that he was somehow brainwashed by white supremacists into thinking that.
yeah,
She
everybody's
walked that
brainwashed.
fine line. I was like, ooh,
But you do. I mean, you do
yikes.
fall on the side of this issue, and it's like on the side of not wanting to read explicit material in books. Like, what? Like, why would
Yeah,
I
they
need to
said
learn
if
about
you're
that?
trying to ban that, you support homophobia.
Oh, yeah, because last time I checked, I needed to read erotic novels about
Two
that
children,
behavior. 2 children. Like, that's,
elementary school children.
and that's what frustrates
Horrible.
me so much is that when they argue about this at any time, at any point, conservatives are always just like, what? No, I'm not. They never like just explicitly keep the battering ram going. Like, this is pornography. This is pornography. This is not. That's what it is.
I
Because if you
agree.
watch CNN, if you watch all these things, they would say, oh, they're banning books. And they leave it at that. And no one ever says, okay, but what books? What's in it? And when they do have the school board meetings and they read the book, they usually cut off the mic.
Yeah,
Did you
because
notice that?
it's yeah, and they actually will say that it's too explicit for the public ear to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why these parents are finally getting their voice out there, because that's logically inconsistent with anything school boards should be supporting. And it's
Mm-hmm.
also already illegal. And I wish conservatives would start with that. Say, we're
Yeah.
actually just enforcing the law that's been the law for a long time.
Yeah.
We're not banning books or creating some grand conspiracy against gay people. We're literally just enforcing the law. If it was straight sex that they were graphically describing to elementary school students, any normal person would have a problem with that, because it's weird.
It is
It's
weird.
pervy.
It's weird. And they let them steer it to the first point being, oh, this is LGBTQ, and that's why you're attacking it. And that's why they did it, obviously, because then they can just keep repeating that rather than focus on the explicit nature of it, which is what
Yeah.
the conservatives should do. But it's just they're really bad at messaging and framing conversations. I don't know if many people like watching are familiar with that. But basically, setting the context, like what's being discussed, the relevancy of all the different topics you're discussing, because they focus the relevancy on it just being LGBTQ, and they leave it at that. They don't let you. The left doesn't let you say, oh, it's LGBTQ and explicit. They just stop at the LGBTQ, and
Well,
conservatives.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
because they're
conservatives
using
respond. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, the conservatives respond, but the leftists are using the LGBT movement as a cover, as a mask,
Mm-hmm.
and they're using honestly the LGBT people's suffering to groom
Yes.
children into a greater cult, and that's really what conservatives need to be saying. But I guess they really need to break it down, and that's another reason why the deep dives that are heavy and arduous are really necessary, more than
Yeah.
just saying, and honestly, more than just giving a lot of these people more access to new viewers, because that's what a lot of the conservatives do when they fight these LGBT and these drag queen story hour type people. They're literally giving them new viewers and
Mm-hmm.
publicity and clout by publicizing that instead of actually fighting it.
Yeah. Instead
So
of
it's a catch
like,
22.
yeah, instead of focusing on the material and distancing themselves from the cover, they just focus on the cover so much and they're like, oh, it's this evil group, this evil group. And yeah, the strategy is just not, it's always reactionary. So immediately then it's going to be like more difficult. But I
Well,
would
they
just,
take the bait.
Yeah, they always take the bait. They always
They
take
take
the
the
bait.
bait.
They always like, oh no, but these people are against God. And it's like, don't do that. Like, don't say that one more time, please. Just on that. And let's just focus on the fact that the material is explicit. It's just interesting to see because there's a lot of ways that it could be addressed more effectively and messaged more effectively, but they just don't know how to do that.
Some conservative groups are doing a really good job. Like
Yeah.
Moms for Liberty, one of those
Oh
groups
yeah.
that's doing an amazing job. Parents Defending Ed, Florida Citizens Alliance, they're all doing great work. And there's many more too. It's really just the political pundits that are falling short, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not new. The moms groups are killing it out there.
Yeah, they are. But I saw that Moms for Liberty is listed from the Southern Poverty Law Center as like a hate group now.
Yeah, they've made it.
Like,
They've made
okay.
it.
Just wow. Just wow.
But you know what that means, though? That means they're doing a good job and they're actually being effective.
Yeah.
They're
'Cause
extremely effective. That's why they're on that page.
I know. It's like how do you become a hate group when you just don't want kids to
Because you hate the queer gayness. They want to liberate your child, and you're wanting to oppress them. That's as simple as that. It's the oppression pyramid again. It just always comes back to the oppression pyramid. Pretty much golden.
Yep, exactly. All the oppression pyramid. Here's the article. If you guys can see it, I'm going to put it up on the screen. Ugh, DJing with these little snippets. Here we go. So yeah, Moms for Liberty among conservative watchdog extremists. Like,
Woohoo!
seriously, no,
I love
not
Moms for
okay.
Liberty.
Not okay. Not okay. Okay. So that was a good clip. I think everybody's really enjoying this. Let's see.
We have so
Civil
much more.
I know we do. This is where I take a stance. When it affects others, especially children, adults can do what they want as long as they don't harm others and the society they live in. Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's the message
right.
that, CNN doesn't let out. And they just pretend, oh, they're banning books. And they just like repeat that over Apple News like ad nauseum.
Well, that is the goal. I'm glad they got it down in their melons. We're banning porn for kids.
I
Finally.
know. But they say always banning books. It's like, stop.
Yeah, they try to ban books. We're not allowed to bring the Bible in schools. They removed prayer hour.
Well,
And they brought in everything else, including witchcraft, mysticism, Buddhism, any other cult you can think of.
They're like, here, take some witchcraft, kids. We're desperate.
No,
Just take some
no, actually,
witchcraft.
they teach yoga, summoning, and like some schools, not all schools for sure, but they like have Wiccan books in the library that teach you how to like make spells and crystal grids and manifest.
Well, I need to charge my crystals.
Yeah, it teaches you how to charge your crystals. I mean, every
need to
8-year-old needs to know how to charge their
I need
crystals.
to charge my crystals. Like, oh, here we go. I found it. Oh my God. Here we go. I need to charge my crystals. Let me get my crystals charged. Hold on. Let me get my crystals charged. Oh, here we go. So after school Satan club at Virginia High School as parents at their wits' end. Like, okay.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
about right.
I should get the video of that and post it too, because I think it's pretty funny. I think I saw it a couple months ago or a couple like weeks ago or so. Okay. So okay, let's move on to the next. So let's see. So do we want to go into okay, I think this one is pretty interesting in terms of lifestyle choices and just how you're going to appreciate yourself. And I'm not going to misgender this person because that will get you banned on YouTube. So stunning and brave. And
But how do we know?
This person.
We can't assume.
Walking in the street as a
No, this human was doing, walking through the street as a transgender woman for 20 minutes just to, see like the reactions of straight men.
Just to
And,
troll straight people in
no,
public
but
for
like
fun.
the straight guys could barely contain like their lust.
Walking in the street is a
Oh, was it lust? Was that what it was? Yeah.
I was like,
This should have been on women posting their L's.
I know this. Oh my god, that would have been perfect for women posting their L's.
People would have got mad in the comments though, for obvious reasons.
I know, stunning and brave. That's just one surgery away. It's fine. But yeah, I thought that was really funny. Disturbed is a broad category. Okay. So let's go. Okay, so let's look at the climate change. So if you didn't realize,
our favorite.
If you didn't realize, you guys, climate change is the number one issue. And if and when they decide or they want you to like do a Neuralink, hook yourself up to the social credit system, and eat bugs to change the weather, you must. I want you to learn this here. You must be prepared for that. Okay? Whatever it takes. If it means eat bugs, if it means don't travel, live in a 15-minute city, you have to do it. So, because like, look, the climate change.
So crazy.
The climate change is responsible for smoke. Okay? It's responsible for forest fires. So, okay, here we go.
I thought cow farts were.
You thought, cow farts. Okay, let me move this.
To force us to rethink the conditions that we're going to be facing. And we're going to have to rethink how do we encourage people to use not only alternate transportation, keeping stockpiles of N95s when it's needed. This is a new universe that we're in.
I'm losing brain cells.
I wish I could take credit for that edit, but so basically, the stunning and brave mayor has been warning people that climate change is primarily responsible for all those like fires and just all the issues in New York City. But I don't know if you guys have seen the actual like video of when the fire started. Did you see it?
I mean, I think I saw a few clips of it just on social media, but
okay, let me see. I'm going to pull it up because it's really interesting how it's just really, I don't know. I don't know much about climates or anything like that, so I'm not trying to be spreading misinformation, but I just thought this was really curious how this sort of played out.
All of Southeast Quebec just caught on fire, guys. All of it. Insane. Insane. Look at that. The whole thing. All at once. Today. And this is on top of Nova Scotia, New Jersey, and the entire western side of Canada burning.
Yeah, so I mean that just seems
crazy.
Suspicious. I've heard like people saying, oh, it could have been arson, but I mean, if you look at it and it's all starting at the same time, that's not usually how fires start. Like multiple different areas all at the same time. So
do you think it's like weather modification, or do you think we're just in for a crazy weather season? Because I know a lot of weather people are saying that this year is going to be conflicting. There's going to be a lot of conflicting weather.
Well, I know that in California, They have really bad fires. I've experienced them myself. And there was also a ton of arson, like a ton of it. Like the
So it's hard to
actual,
distinguish.
yeah, an actual like people caught for arson and going to jail for arson. It's not just conspiracy.
I remember that
So,
in the past. Yeah.
yeah, even like a couple of years ago. So it's like the last big one. So I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility. If it seems suspicious, if they all start at the same time or whatever it may be, it just, I can see it. Maybe climate activists might start the fire. Who knows? They glued themselves to factory floors. They shut down, you know, the highways all over the world. So it's just like, I don't know. And in New Jersey, the smoke was crazy yesterday. I bet. It's so horrible. It's so horrible when that happens. But yeah, basically the mayor there said that the climate change was accelerating the smoke and accelerating everything. So basically moving it down the coast, which is okay. Okay, whatever. And I just see there's so much propaganda on Twitter where people are like just over and over and over again saying, this is climate change, this is climate change. And I'm like, it's literally a forest fire. Like, that's not new.
Yeah, it's all to drive hysteria and to get you to buy into the one world government and to give up your rights.
But remember,
sure.
guys, do it. Okay. Follow.
You have to, or you're a bigot.
You worse than that. You're a white supremacist.
Yeah.
So
You want to kill the planet.
literally.
Mhm.
Literally.
I'm just waiting for the detention camps to start.
I'm just waiting to get like my bank account shut down because I misgendered someone. That's
Yeah,
I feel like that's like almost
Yeah.
happening. And I feel like almost
that's already happening.
I know it's almost happening. I feel like I have to self-censor myself even. It's so crazy. Okay. So the last clip I thought would be interesting to explore because I see like in terms of trending on TikTok, there is like this trend that I've been noticing where people are, again, this is part of the like communist, socialist, whatever evil agenda, hate nations, hate capitalism, hate it all, where they all like
Hate yourself.
hate yourself, hate everything, hate player haters club, where they're going to just like talk about how, you know, their problems or their depression or whatever it is due to like being in America.
I thought it was depression. Turns out it was America. I thought it was depression. Turns out it was America.
And it's like the most ridiculous thing. Because it's like, obviously, anyone going on vacation is going to feel better. Like,
It's the food.
most likely too. Most likely too.
Yeah. The food that we get here is completely different than the food that companies send to other countries. Mexican soda is a great example. Jarritos. If you have a Mexican Jarritos, it tastes completely different, has completely different ingredients than American Jarritos. So
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, they put the chemicals there. Like, it's heavy chemical warfare in America.
yeah.
The chemical warfare part, I feel like should be honestly the number one thing. And it's really not seen as like the most important thing to me, I feel
It's
like.
seen as a conspiracy, and I think a lot of people brush it off because there's not really anything they can do about it except go out in the middle of nowhere and start a farm, get off the grid. And a lot of people can't afford to do that, so they just work with what they've got. And that's kind of the
Yeah.
tough thing.
They could also avoid eating Lunchables and sodas, but
Yeah, but you know, people use poverty as a reason to eat those things. I mean, a bag of frozen chicken nuggets could be multiple meals, and it's like what, $1, $2?
yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of the problem, and a lot of this too is what's in the grocery stores in the poorest parts of town
Oh, yeah.
is completely different than the food that's in the grocery stores in the richer, wealthier part of town.
Oh, yeah, so true. Oh, super chat. Thank you. Cult Hammer. The problem is the Marxists have captured all our institutions and boomers still think they're trustworthy. A lot of people think that they're trustworthy. A lot of people think that a lot of these things are just conspiracies and just,
Yeah.
you know, somehow not even related or just loosely related, or even for the average person, I feel like they don't see how important it is. Like, for example, the food and the poisoning of food. You know, so many people have been duped by healthcare professionals for decades, and they don't even realize, like, we were looking at sucralose, and sucralose, sweet and low, okay, that they give to people. Like, don't they give it to like diabetics and just people in the hospital and things like that?
Yeah.
And it literally says, when you look it up, it will damage your DNA.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, no, you're right. But also, like, look at the farms burning down. Look at all the GMO foods we have. There aren't even authentic seeds in the seed banks anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we can't even grow non-GMO corn or non-GMO tomatoes. They just don't even exist. And the soil is different now. There's less nutrients. There's a lot of factors that go into it. So a lot of people probably feel kind of stuck. They maybe feel like they can't really live off the garden they have in their apartment, but that it just goes back to move out of the cities. If you move out of the cities, if you can move out of the cities, move to a red area, get a piece of
Yeah.
land. If you're able, that's probably the best move at this point, but it sucks.
Oh, it's not letting me. Yeah, it totally sucks. It's not letting me show the super sticker. I'm so sad. But I think everybody in the chat, thanks, Philosophist for sending it. Thanks for the super chats and the stickers. But yeah, no, it's so bad. And it's like, luckily though, in California, just because of the unique layout, it's like super blue, obviously, in many places. But luckily in California, oh, there, I can see it. It's you can still access like small farms. Like the farmers markets are really good, and like Napa, for example, Napa Valley is pretty close by. Farms in the valley are pretty close. So even in Los Angeles, I can get like organic, fresh, like farm hen chicken eggs, you know, all of those things. So that's a unique thing. But in most of America, especially like the Midwest, not possible. I don't know how it is in the South or the East, but super difficult.
and it's illegal to sell chicken eggs or raw milk in a lot of areas, especially in blue states. You're not allowed to have chickens. You have to ask the government permission for chickens.
I
And
wonder
that's
who
not
voted
even
for
even
that.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely chalked, and Democrats have a lot of explaining to do when it comes to this. Like, you can't be arguing that you're for the people and not be for the people in any way. And having the government tell you can't own a chicken, it's kind of outrageous.
I know. It's just, it's so, so sad to see because honestly, like me, I tried raw milk for the first time just like little under a year ago, and it was like amazing. I was like, this is totally worth it. I didn't even know there were different types of milk that you could buy. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought that there was just a cow. I didn't realize that the different breeds have an impact. And I tried Jersey milk, which I don't know the regular one, the one that they mostly use, but I tried Jersey cow milk, and it was like so good and so amazing, and it felt amazing. Like it wasn't the same experience.
I'm so glad that you shared that.
I'm sorry.
I've had a hard time finding somebody who sells raw milk, and it's kind of like word of mouth. It's very secret because nobody wants to be reported.
Oh wow. They sell it here in the stores, so I guess the laws here are not so bad.
Oh, they do in California?
Oh yeah, they sell it in
awesome.
Yeah, they sell it in the grocery store, so that's the one that I buy. I have like a bunch of
it's not buttermilk or whole milk, right?
No.
No, it's unpasteurized.
It's raw. It just is raw on it. Raw Jersey. And the company is so adorable. They even sell cows. Like they sell the cow if you want a cow for your if you want a cow for your a heifer for your backyard, they'll sell it to you. So you know, and it's like
You
the
should ask them
breed.
to sponsor you so
I
you
know
can
I
sell
should.
cows. That would
I
be
know.
awesome.
I know that would be so fun. I would be like, "You guys save your life. Eat this." And I'll just drink milk on the live stream. No, but
You
it's
should just be
really
like,
really
hey,
good.
did you know you can just buy a cow?
I know. I'm just gonna start plugging people. Just be
You
like,
should.
"This is not
Yeah.
sponsored," but
I would definitely
yeah,
reach out to them first, though.
I know. Seriously, I
That
should.
would be awesome.
Yeah, no, I should. That's a really good idea. Because no, it's pretty life-changing how much better your quality of life can be, which I think is super crucial because if you think about it, your diet is going to, you know, affect every single thing in your life, your mood, your logic, like your ability to think and make rational decisions and not act like a crazy leftist. Um,
Oof.
your
Calling people
hormones.
out.
I'm serious because like your gut health, I hope nobody's this isn't propaganda. Well, it is propaganda because food is heavily propagandized, but your gut and your gut health heavily impact your cognitive abilities.
For
So,
sure. It's your second brain.
yeah. And so many people don't know that. I mean,
Yep.
I was just blown away. I was like, I didn't think that it could get much worse. And then when I learned that like sweet and low literally destroys your DNA, I'm like, and people are worried about mRNA. I'm like, you guys, there's stuff like you can get at the corner store that will like destroy your DNA too. So it's like everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah. It's honestly not even the half of it. We'd have to do like a whole live just about that, honestly.
Literally. Literally. I'm
But,
holding
yeah,
my card for making fun right now. Oh no, I shouldn't have walked into it. Okay. I really like health foods, and that was just one thing that I recently discovered because I also started taking colostrum too. Have you ever tried that?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. So that was really really beneficial. But anyway, yeah, the live on health definitely could be a whole discussion, but I just think this week in terms of propaganda has been pretty bizarre, and I knew, for example, when they did when the forest fires happened, I just knew immediately they were going to use that for their whole climate hoax stuff. So I
Don't
feel
let a crisis go to waste.
no, I feel like that's a saying of some type of group. I don't know. I don't know which group that is. But yeah. So yeah, I think this was really fun, and thanks again for putting up with all the delay, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. We're so glad to have Maria here, and we're gonna be doing a live on her channel soon whenever she invites us back. So we're gonna have to make sure everybody comes and joins that. And follow her. I'm going to put all her links and everything in the description so you can follow her and check out her stuff, her IG, her on YouTube. It's pretty easy to find her. She's not hiding. She's not hiding it up. So so yeah, I hope everybody had a great week, and I think that this would be just in terms of a reoccurring show. I think this would be really good because I just like recapping. And whenever Maria feels like joining, obviously, definitely welcome to join and come chat because I think Friday night's fun. Hey guys, hey Angel Wings, what's up? So yeah, any closing thoughts before we jump off of here?
Anybody who hasn't taken my What is Female Privilege poll on Instagram, please go take that poll before it goes away. I think it's about to go away. I might run another one soon. I got a lot of really juicy replies to that, and I'm really excited to share them.
Yeah. So definitely follow her on Instagram. I love following her stuff. She posts like amazing books, amazing resources. It's really like way beyond just a normal meme Instagram. Let's just say that, you guys. So it's definitely worth it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll be back online tomorrow. And then I think on Sunday, I'm planning to do a watch party. So check that out. Check for my community post or my schedule for that because I think I did a post like a couple weeks ago covering what we would watch. So everybody, if you're interested in that, I think it would be fun. Obviously, it will be something on propaganda. So, and social engineering.
Obviously.
So, obviously. Okay, you guys, thanks so much. Have a great weekend and stay healthy. Bye.